Hey, how's it going, guys? So I wanted to take this minute to make a video of something that I feel is very important and didn't realize the importance of it until it actually just happened to me, and that is putting backing on your bait caster or spinning reels. I recently just got a new rod and reel, and I put a 20-pound braid on it, and I've been having problems with it. And this whole time I thought it was my drag, and I started looking up videos to figure out, uh, what was wrong with it, and I would have to tighten my drag up the whole way, and the line would just keep spooling off. And I found out that if you don't put backing on your spool, you are going to slip, and if you go to set a hook on a fish, if it's a decent sized fish, it's just going to unspool. Well, on mine, it's a lot worse than that. I'm going to show you how bad it is, because I haven't found a video on YouTube that shows you how bad it can actually get. They just show you what you need to do for it not to happen. So I'm going to show you two of my reels, one of them that I did with backing, and then one that I was saving to do. And I actually decided to go fishing in the morning. That's why this video is kind of made last minute. It's kind of dark in here, but I need to get it spooled up with some backing before I go fishing in the morning. So here we go. I'll show you guys what it is. Alright, and here's why we are here. These are my two rod and reels that I have right now to show you. This first one is a Lew's American Hero. The speed spool, it's a 7-to-1 gear ratio. It is on a 7-foot Saber SCI rod. It's an off-brand. I got this set up at Big 5. My uncle gets stuff at cost, so I got the rod and reel. Retail, they're each about $60. I got them for about $30 each, $35 each, so together it was $70. So you can't really go wrong with spending $70 on a brand new setup. This here is my go-to. This is my Shimano Corrado, and it's on the Shimano X Stage. This is a 710, and this is a 6.4, I believe, 6.4 gear ratio. I don't remember exactly, but anyways, the reason we are here. So this is spooled up with 10-pound braid. So if you can see here, I'm going to try and back it off in here. It is set, it is not open. Okay, so you can see I'm trying to spool this off with my thumb. Okay, the drag is, I'll back it off a bit. Okay, so you can see I come off, and it's still a little hard to do. And then if I go back up on the drag, I almost can't do it. Okay, so the drag is engaging on this one. This is where it gets shitty. This is the one that does not have backing. Okay, so I'm going to show you the drag on this all the way up. I'm going to back off of the drag. Okay, so drag's off. Okay, I'm going to go back on the drag and get it as tight as I can. So that drag is all the way on. Okay, and here goes my braid. See that? Just unspooling. I'm going to bring it back on. You can see it's engaged. It's not open. It is just coming off. Okay? Now, I'm going to try and do this. See if I can do this. I'm going to hold this here. Just going to pull it. I can't really reel it at the same time. You can see I'm just pulling the line off of it as my hand comes up. So there's nothing holding this onto the spool. So I can even try and reel this in right now. Okay, it'll go on when there's no weight, but you can see my jig is hooked up there, and I'm spinning this, and it is just not grabbing at all. So what I am going to do is unspool this. I don't have another reel to put this line back on, so I'm going to have to take this old spool that it came on, put it back on here, just take it off of that, put it on here, and then use my monofilament backing that I got, put it on here, tie this back on, spool it back up. So I will try and get this, show you guys the steps that I'm going to do. So first thing right now, get this line off, put it onto this spool. So I'll see you guys in a minute once I do that. Alright, I finally made it to the end, and you can see I've got a knot on there, nice little arbor knot, and it is right there, but when I use it, it is not gripping at all on this spool. And normally on my other spools, they have little holes in it. I can pass the line through there. That would help grab it as well. But I think I'm just going to have to put on some mono on this, which I've got over there. So yeah, got this all off. Got it on right here. Hopefully it comes off very easy. And yeah, no, that says 10 pounds, but this is actually 20-pound line. So yeah, I'm going to cut that loose, tie on the mono. I'm going to do an arbor knot. I'm not really going to show you how to tie the arbor knot and how I tie all that. I'm just going to spool it on because I only got one set of hands right now. I don't have a stand or anything to hold my camera. So I'm just going to have to show you how I do this in steps. All right. All right. Bear with me. All right, so as you can see, I've got my mono on there. I have an arbor knot tied on it. And focus, I am going to start spooling it on. And I know that, sorry for the focus, guys. Oh, focus, come on, get in there. All right, you can see it now. And I know that you can use, you know, electrical tape or anything else, but I really don't want to put electrical tape on my spool. I just don't like the idea of putting something sticky on something such a smooth surface. So I have my line going through. God, this focus on this sucks. Damn it. Oh, maybe not. Anyways, I've got it going through about 4 eyes up to here. And there's my line. There, now you focus. Okay, I've got it going through 4 of the eyes. Okay. One of the problems I've had before is putting too much tension on the line, holding it here when it goes in, and it lets the line settle into itself. And also, if you hold your line right here, when this eye right here goes side to side, it won't let it spool on very evenly, so you'll kind of wind up with more line on one side or more line on this side. So if you kind of go light with the pressure and hold the pressure on the spool over there as you line it on, it won't be as uneven or settle inside of itself. So I'm going to tighten some of this up and then I'll be back. Alright, so I just got the mono put on. Some people say that you only want to put about 3 yards on it. I like to cover the entire base of the spool. I feel like that will give the braid, you know, enough just so that way none of it really contacts the spool and you have minimal chances of it spinning. But then some people will say, oh, you have too much mono on there, it's going to affect your casting distance. But you know, I've never ever been able to cast far enough to even get this low on the spool unless it's an old spool of line and I've cut it so many times to where it's really close to being low. But that's just my thought is, you know, put a little bit extra on there so that way it really grips the spool. So I'm going to tie on my braid and then you're going to use a uni to uni knot, and then I'll be back with you guys once I get all of the braid back on, and I'll show you the difference of before, how it was slipping, and how much of a difference having just this mono backing on it, how much of a difference it makes. Alright, got the spool filled. So what I would do is I have it running up through about 4 of the eyes, back down, and I'm pinching it here on the back side before it goes through the eyes and before it gets here, so that way I'm not affecting it right there as it goes down into the eye right there on what's that called, the worm swivel or worm bar, whatever it's called. So that way as this goes back to forth, the tension on my finger doesn't throw it off. And I've got the spool held between my legs, or my feet, my toes, on the little chopstick, so that way I can keep the spool going in the same direction as it's going off and back on to here. So yeah, anyways, that's how I'm doing it. Alright, here we are. Oh man, excuse me, again. both of my rods and reels right here. So again, this was the one we started out with, the Corrado that I did not have problems with. So here, you can see I'm pushing on this. Okay, I've got my drag set pretty good. I'll back off of it. You can see now it's coming undone. Tighten it back up. And I'll put the drag back on the Corrado, and boom, it's good. And now I know you guys remember how hard or easy it was to unspool this, but would you look at that? Would you look at that? It's not coming off now. All I had to do was put on that backing. So again, back off the drag, and now the drag is off. So now it's coming off. But if I put that drag on, boom, not coming off. Would you look at that? It's crazy what a little bit of backing does and how much more even that is spooled on there than it was before. I hope this video helped you out a bit. It's not the only way to fix it. Like I said, you can put electrical tape on it. You can put backing on your spool. I've also seen people take the line through the eye, take out the spool, do your Arbor Knot, and then put a couple half hitches in it, and then put the spool back in, and that's with the braid, no backing. And those half hitches supposedly bite onto the spool. The reason I didn't do that is I've used mono before. Obviously I showed you it on my other reel, and it worked just fine, and I didn't want to have to switch it up and try a couple of those half hitches and have it not work and then just have to do the whole process all over again. And when I unspooled the line, if you have another reel, you could just put the mono on your other reel and then put the mono spool, a little bit of that mono on, and then tie the braid that you have on your spool that's not working, and just, you know, reel it directly back onto that other spool, so that way it cuts out the whole process of putting it on a spool, putting it back on, you know. Anyways, but yeah, I hope that helps some of you guys out. It just shows that if you're going to use braid, highly recommend using a backing, because I can't tell you how frustrated I got trying to figure out what was wrong with it. I thought it was my drag the whole time, but come and behold, it was, you know, me just not paying attention, and I should have just put backing on from the get-go. So anyways, see you guys later. Go out there and catch some fish.